is up, my britches? If you are new here, hello, my name is Brittany. Happy Sunday. Today is time for another declutter. So we're going to do bronzers, cream bronzers, face palettes, and blushes. I'm a blush whore. I love blushes, so I don't know how successful this is going to be as a declutter. So this might be like makeup collection so you guys could see what I have, but I do plan on decluttering some things. I'm just one of those people, I don't declutter just because I have to. I declutter mainly either if I don't like something or if it's expired. So it's not meant to be like a savage declutter. I'm just trying to basically like condense my collection to make sure everything's still like good, right? So I'm going to go through all these today. I'm going to jump right into it. If you guys like these videos, don't forget to thumbs it up. Subscribe if you're new. We're doing these every Sunday. And let's get into, I'm going to start with the bronzer situation and then we'll get into blushes because I don't have a ton of cream blushes. I have more than like the average consumer, but it's like bronzers, contours, the cream products. This is what we're doing. And then highlighters will be a separate video. So let's start with an automatic declutter. The e.l.f. putty bronzers. I was actually gifted these by e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I honestly don't know how I ended up on their PR list, but I don't like these because they apply super patchy. The colors actually work really well for me, but it's the like actual formula. I don't have the best luck with e.l.f. Cosmetics, so these ones, I'm going to declutter both of them, even though they're still relatively, I'm going to say new, because I haven't had them that long, but I also have the Westman Atelier, the Face Trace Contour Stick. I have the shade Biscuit. This was gifted to me by a friend, and this is so bouge. Like, I love the packaging on this. I love how it has the magnetic closure. I'll do some swatches for you guys, just so you guys could see how they look on my skin tone. So this one for me, it's basically a cream contour. This is the type of shade that I typically like, except this leans a little bit cooler, but I'm still going to keep this one because one, it was a gift and I'll cherish it. And two, it's a really great product. Like, it doesn't apply patchy. It's a fantastic cream contour. So this one we're keeping. And then this one, I think I'm actually going to declutter this. This is the Bare Minerals, the Bare Pro Glow bronzer. It's basically like a luminous bronzer, but it's the shade Warmth. I really like this for like mixing in with my foundations if they're too light, but I never really use it. Like, I mean, it's old. Maybe I shouldn't get rid of this because I don't have anything like this in my collection as far as like an actual liquid. I actually might keep it because I mean, I don't know. I kind of want to keep it. I was going to get rid of it because it's older. I definitely need to clean this up a little bit. But, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep this for my next declutter because I'll probably declutter again in December. I'll keep this now. If I don't use it, I'll declutter it then. Because I'm like, if I had more in my collection like this, I would get rid of it. But I'm going to keep it for now. Next one, definitely not getting rid of this. The Hollywood Contour Wand from Charlotte Tilbury. This is like the best cream contour of all time. It's so good. It's so easy to use. Like, when you apply it, it looks crazy. It looks way too pigmented. It just looks nuts when you apply this. Let me just say, this is like the most, I would think, user-friendly of all of my cream contours because of how it blends and the ease of use, and I love this sort of a packaging. I don't know why. Like, a lot of people don't like these. I really like the fact that these actually lock. I didn't get the memo initially, but these do, like, when I basically, like, squeeze out the product and then I'll lock it. I like this. I love this for travel as well. This is just, in my opinion, the best. If I were to recommend any cream contours in today's video, it's going to be this one. We're not judging the way that my table looks either, okay? So this one I'm going to keep. I'm also going to keep the NARS. I'm keeping this because this is still relatively new. This is the Laguna Sunkissed Bronzing Cream. This also looks intense. It looks insane when you use it, but it blends out so nicely. It's really creamy. I think you can get this at Nordstrom, maybe Sephora, but I actually really like this one every time I use it. Like, when I first used it, I wasn't the biggest fan, but this is what I hoped that the e.l.f. bronzers would be as far as like blendability, because it does apply very pigmented. I was initially using the NARS brush that I purchased with this collection, but that brush is too dense in my opinion for this formula. I like to use something like the Luxie 512. So I'm actually going to keep this one. I do like the packaging. It's not like super high quality, but it's still cute. I like it. I'm going to keep it because that's still pretty new for my collection. I am going to get rid of the Revolution, the Fast Base Stick Foundation. So obviously this is technically a foundation, but I use this shade as a cream bronzer. This shade is like perfect. It's so pigmented. Really nice for a cream bronzer moment, and it's inexpensive. I just never really reach for this anymore because it's old as fuck. So this one I'm going to declutter as well. And then I just need to take this out of my collection. It's basically, yeah, it's like gone. The Milk Makeup, the Baked Matte Bronzer. The fact that this is called a matte bronzer confuses me because it's not matte. At least on me, it looks more like of a satin formula. I obviously can't swatch it because it's like I can barely get anything. We can get a little bit there, but this shade is really nice. I would recommend, if you're looking at these Milk Makeup little sticks, I would get these mini sizes because by the time you probably use it up, it's going to expire. So this lasted me so insanely long. I think this lasted me like a year or almost a year. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. Actually, I think I got this for holiday last year. So a little less. No, it was 2 years ago. It doesn't matter. This lasted me a really long time, way over the expiration. So I would still buy this again. I would buy the mini size again, though, just because of how long it lasted me. And I have, you know, a more extensive collection. But this one worked really great for my skin tone. So I'm going to put this actually in my empties. So you'll see this in an empties video in a future video. But then I have the Smashbox, the step-by-step contour stick. Whoops. I don't like this. This is really difficult for me to blend. Like when I apply it, because it's so dark, it's almost like you can always see the streak where I apply it. So it looks really harsh right where I apply it. It's just, overall, it's just not for me. I don't like the blendability of this one. It's really creamy. There's just something about the formula that doesn't blend perfectly. I did get this from a cosmetics company store or like the outlet store. So I don't know, maybe this was like expired. That's why it's not as good. It does come with a sharpener. So if you pick this up, don't throw out your sharpener because this fits perfectly for it. But this one, I'm just like, I don't ever use it. So I'm just going to get rid of it. And then the last ones I have are from Tower 28. I think either all of these were sent to me or maybe all but one were sent to me. A majority of these were sent. So these are all the shades that they offered that would fit my skin tone. I think there's one deeper one. I'm going to keep all of these because I fucking love these products, but I'm going to replace my most used one and I'm going to put this one in my collection instead. So this is the shade West Coast. If I were to recommend any, clearly it's this one. Look at how much I've used it. I love this, especially for summertime because it has that beautiful glow to it. I'll put it right here. It has such a beautiful luminosity to it that I think is so different. Like comparing it to all the other ones, it just looks so different. And on the skin, especially in the spring, summertime, it just looks beautiful. I'm not going to swatch all of these just because I think I've done a dedicated video to these actually. So if I have it, I'll leave a card for it. But these are all fantastic. And it just basically depends on your skin tone. The Best Coast, it's my probably like least worn out of all of them because it's a little bit more red. But I still really enjoy overall the formula. I just love this brand. Okay, I know not everybody is the biggest fan, but I am. I love that shade. It's so pretty. So I'm keeping all of these because I love them so much. So that's everything for my cream bronzers. I mean, I got rid of, 4 out of my collection. Like I said in the beginning, this is not meant to be like a savage declutter. Actually, let's take this one out so I don't forget. We're going to put that one over here, and then I'll put this one in my collection. So I'll have a new one. See, we love that. So let's put everything back in my little basket. I can't wait to do my my organization video. If you guys are new and didn't see my last declutter, I'm actually gearing up for like a major, like I got these acrylic organizers and shit. And I'm preparing my collection to organize everything. So as for now, everything's staying in these little baskets. So that's everything for the bronzers. Actually, let's just like navigate into face palettes. So I have a couple face palettes that have like blushes, highlighters, and bronzers in them. And I'll just kind of mention why I like each one. I'm just wiping off my hand. Hi, everybody in the live chat. I know this is like a super rando time, but it's Sunday. Who's hungover today? I wish I was. Let's start with the Hourglass, the Illume Sheer Trio. I feel like this was like the beginning of the end for Hourglass for a lot of people, because they done fucked up with this palette, because they should totally do more shades of this, because it's such a bomb ass palette. If you're my skin tone, if you're lighter than I am, I think if you're deeper than me, this probably won't work for you, or it won't at least be worth the price for you, because this is like a $55 palette. My favorite thing about this palette is this bronzer. Like, I wish that they would do just a bronzer, like a single, because it's pure perfection. It's so smooth, it's so creamy, it's so nice. Like, the blush is nice, but for my liking, like, I typically like something a little bit more punchy, and I don't really gravitate towards shades like this, but it's still a really solid palette. But you could, I think, see in obviously what you're watching that I definitely reach mostly for the bronzer. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I love it. I'm not getting rid of it. It's thebomb.com. So there's that one. And then I also recently received the e.l.f. the Electric Mood times Petition. Not sure. I think they're an artist. So this one, this is actually much better than the putty bronzers. I did like this. I actually used this in like a recent new makeup releases type of video, but these formulas are a little bit just different. Oh, Shannon's coming in to kiss me. Hold on. Love you.
Love you.
So these ones, I think they're not my favorite formula. They're very like slip and slidey, as far as it feels like it's gonna like move all over. It just has like a, I don't even know the right way to explain it. It's like, even rubbing my finger through it, I'm just like, there's just something about this formula that makes me feel like it's going to be like a hot mess on my face. It's not my favorite, but for like a drugstore option, I think this would be a good like starter, but just like know going into it that there's way better out there. Does that make sense? So it's like, packaging's cute. It's like inexpensive, but I like the overall aesthetic of it, and it's nice. Like, it's nice for the drugstore, but I think you could definitely tell that it is like a drugstore. Does that make sense? That's I guess why I don't really gravitate towards like drugstore makeup anymore, because I always feel that way about drugstore stuff. I'm always like, you could tell that it's not like high end, you know? I don't know. I'm judgy, I guess. Whatever, it is what it is. And then I have the Salt New York, the Cream Tint Pros. I love these. I think they're so beautiful. Something is going on with this one here, though. I think it's just like, I might have dipped my finger in it when it was wet, but these are just, I think they're not, like, they're solid, especially if you have like a makeup kit or something like that, as far as like a freelance artist, because I have obviously 4 shades, but there's like a whole slew of these now. I love these. I think they're so beautiful. And these, like, the blushes, they just look like perfectly wet on your face. At least they do for me. So I have 2 highlighters technically, but I use this one as a blush. The shade Contour, and then I think this is the shade Rose. I love this brand. And I love this whole, like, the Z palettes that are magnetized. I love them. I love Salt New York. I think I have a discount code with them. I think it's Britches. But it's like, if you spend, or if you buy like, I think it's if you do like a palette and some Cream Tint Pros or something. I forget exactly what the exact stipulations are, I guess you could say. I feel like I'm still asleep right now. But I think I'm pretty sure it's the code Britches. I'll link it down below if I remember. But yeah, I really love their products, and I just love the concept, because I think they're very mindful as far as like, because Kiki G's a makeup artist, so I think she definitely does her products to appease the makeup artist, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm not a makeup artist, but I still fucking love them. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, then we have some Patrick Ta, so we're getting into the blushes now. So we have the Patrick Ta, the Double Take Cream and Powder Blush in the shade Do We Know Her, and then I think I have the shade She's So LA. I love this packaging. I love these. I love how it's got the powder and the cream. I featured these with the creams because that's where I store these. I fucking love these, though. I love the formula. His, I think, is like, if you were to classify a cream as a matte, I think that his are that. Like, when I apply it to my face, they look like they're matte. They don't have, like, a shine to them, really, as far as, like, it doesn't make your skin look wet. It doesn't have, like, a luminosity. I think that these would classify as a matte. Does that make sense? Oh, my God. I'm a fucking mess. Why do you guys watch my videos? So, the shade She's So LA, I personally like this one for, like, a bronzer. So, a blush and a bronzer, just because of the tone of it on my skin tone. I do reach more for Do We Know Her, but the She's So LA I do like for, like, spring and summer, or not spring and summer, fall and winter. This one is more for, like, spring, summer. So, I still really like both of those, so I'm going to hang on to them. And then we have Natasha Denona, the Love Cheek Duo, the cream and blush highlighter. I think I'm going to keep this in my collection for a future video, because I want to do, like, a full face of makeup I hate. And this is just, I hate this. I, like, look at the, it just, like, gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't know why I don't like this formula so much. It's like a true cream to a powder. It's very different for my collection. It's just, overall, it's just, I don't know what it is about Natasha Denona and her cheek products. They just don't, I think, look good on my skin. So I think once I do that video, like, that looks so beautiful, but on my face, it looks tragic. I don't know. It's just every time I wear it, I'm like, this is not worth the money. I think she murdered it with the packaging. When you swatch it, it looks beautiful, but on my face, it's just a nah for me, dog. I don't like it. So I'm going to keep it for now, but once I do that video, I'll probably take it out of my collection just because it doesn't spark joy. Every time I talk about it, I'm just like, I hate this. I'm mad at myself for spending the money on it. It's just one of those things I've come to terms with as far as, like, Natasha Denona. I'm like, I just need to stop buying her products that are meant for, like, cheek products. So I just saw the comment, we watch because we like your hot mess. We like the hot mess. Keep it real. We're all a little hot mess for realsies. Okay, so LYS, they came out with these blushes. Oh my God, did these sell out for, like, the longest time? I have the shade Confident. These are so nice. This was my favorite product that LYS did, and look at that shade. It's so, so beautiful. I love this. I'm definitely not getting rid of it. I actually want more of these, but I have yet to pick up any. Like, every time I went to pick them up, they were always sold out. So this one, I'm going to keep this, but I do have intention on buying more. But I'm like, do I need more? No, definitely don't. And then I have the Rare Beauty. This is the Captivate. This is technically a liquid illuminator, but I bought this shade for a blush. I think I could have done without this, especially since I have the shade Rust in the Salt New York. But this is still, it's pretty, but I don't like this as much as I like the, because I have one I'll show you guys in my, like, liquid illuminators. The liquid illuminator, I think it's the shade Captivate, I think, or wait, what shade was this? This is Captivate. I think it's Mesmerize that I have in my illuminator. That is beautiful. But this, for me, this is obviously not meant to be a blush. I want to make that very clear. But I still do really like it. But I think I might declutter this one because now that I have the Charlotte, or actually I had the Charlotte Tilbury before this. So I'm like, why did I even buy this? I kind of want to keep it though because it is really pretty. Bah! I'm going to keep it. Fuck it. Everybody watching for the sake of a declutter is probably squealing right now, but it's fine. It's pretty. I've paid money for this stuff, guys. I don't want to just get rid of it just to get rid of it. Does that make sense? So let's talk about the Nude Sticks, the Nudies Bloom in the shade Poppy Girl. I love this formula. It reminds me, honestly, of Tower 28 because it has high pigmentation and it has that beautiful, wet, dewy look to your skin. It's so, so pretty. And I love it. I love the packaging. I love everything about this. I picked this up at Ulta. I'm going to hang on to it because I still really like this one. You're going to see, like, repeats in my collection. I love, like, corally blushes. I love, like, rusty looking blushes. You're gonna see a trend. It just, guys, it is what it is. Okay. And then we have the Hourglass, the Vanish blush stick. Karen Harris got me with this one. She's like, Brittany, I think you'll really like it. I love it. Blah, 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 blah. So I picked up the shade Revel. This one, I'm just like, okay, it's nice, but I did not need to get this because the formula of these is not my favorite. It's super pigmented, but I personally like a cream blush with more of like that dewy or like that wet look to the face. This is more of like a matte formula. So if you like a matte blush in a cream, I think this one would be probably ideal for you. I'm going to keep it because it was spency as fuck, and I really haven't used it that much, but I would not buy this again. So there's my thoughts on that. Let me wipe these off because those kind of took over my hand really quickly. What is your guys' favorite that you've seen so far? Or what is the favorite that you guys have in your collection? I'm always curious because I'm clearly a big fan of the cream blushes. So then we have Charlotte Tilbury, the Beauty Light Wands. These piss me off because they're so good. And they're so hard to get your hands on, especially the Pillow Talk ones. I can't find these anywhere anymore. So if I were to pick one that's a favorite, it's definitely Pinkgasm. I think Pinkgasm is truly extraordinary, especially for my skin tone. It's so nice. But if you like more of that rusty vibe, the Pillow Talk No. 2 Medium is so beautiful. I actually featured this in last night's video. If you guys missed it, we did the Vanity Makeup Cosmetics palette and the Charlotte Tilbury, what are they called? The Super Nudes face palette. This is comparable to the face palette, except this is obviously like a liquid or a cream. So these I'm not getting rid of. These are like my favorites in my collection. I love these with my whole life. So we're going to keep those ones. Look we've only like semi-decluttered one so far. We're doing great. Okay, then we have this Armani blush. I don't want to get rid of this because it was so expensive. But these are not it for me. Like, okay, it looks good right there, but apply this to your face, you're like, bitch, where is it? It's so sheer. This is just not a product for me. This is if you like something very minimal and just basically like you could barely see it. This one, just no. I'm going to declutter this one. I think I said in my last one that I'm going to declutter this if I didn't use it, and I still haven't used it. This one actually, you know what? I'm going to put this with the Natasha Denona. I'm going to save this for like a full face of makeup I hate. And then after I'll declutter it. So you'll see those in a future video. I see Lisa. Britt, you sound better today. I'm feeling much better. I'm still not 100%, but I'm getting there. But thank you. Thank you for the super chat. You don't have to do that. I'm going to do these. Oh my God. I feel like I've talked about these so many times. The Flower Beauty. These cream blushes are so nice. These are, if you want to try a cream blush that's actually really good at the drugstore, these are the ones that I would say. So I have Bubbly, Bitten, I think this is Cinnamon, and then Melon. I love all of these. The main one that I use, though, it will be Cinnamon, just because of the shades that, you know, I like. Just be careful because see how I just, like, barely squeezed it and so much came out? These are so pigmented. Like, do you see that pigmentation? It's fucking crazy. These are so nice though, but I think that that's like the only thing that I would change about these is the packaging. I love the shade Bubbly for if I want to lighten up anything, because some of these, they like when you look at this color right here, that's what they actually look like. I've swatched these in previous like declutters and stuff, so I'm not going to swatch all of them, but these ones I'm going to keep all of them for a drugstore option because I need to do more with these. I just saw, are you sure this is a declutter? Kiki, listen, don't come for me. I said it in the beginning. Don't start with me. I'm not just gonna declutter shit just to declutter it. You know, for the sake of a declutter. Like, if I'm taking anything out, that's an added bonus. And actually, you know what? I'll hit you with something that I'm actually gonna declutter right now. These Ofra Cosmetics, these are, I think they're just called, like, they're liquid blushes. I have the shade Loyal and Truly. These were actually gifted to me by Ofra, but these just don't work the best for me. And I don't really like the formula. I don't really like the shades. And I'm not trying to be like a picky bitch or anything. It's just one of those things. It's like, I feel like cream blushes are one of those things that are kind of hard to fuck up, you know, because there are so many good ones. But these ones just aren't what I look for in a cream blush. So there you go. There's my declutter. Don't come for me. Overall, I just don't like the formula, and that's just is what it is. And then, oh my God, I think if I were to pick a current favorite cream blush in my collection, this might be it. It's the Makeup by Mario Earthy Pink. These are the Soft Pop Blush Sticks. These remind me a lot of the Nude Sticks ones. As far as like packaging is not the exact same, but it's similar. It's just striking resemblance. But it's this shade is so beautiful. And for me, I'm just like, it's one of those blushes that I normally wouldn't gravitate towards. And then, I don't know, it was just like, I kept looking at this one. It's got that beautiful sheen to it. I see you guys calling me out saying, call it a makeup collection. Listen. Makeup collection declutter. All right? I love this. I'm not getting rid of it. It's one of my newer ones. And it's beautiful. Like, are you guys seeing what I'm showing you right now? That's why I'm not decluttering a lot, is because it's all so beautiful. Now I have the Glossier, the Cloud Paints. I actually think I'm going to declutter these because I honestly, comparing the Flower Beauty, I would just buy these because they have such a resemblance to one another. Like, I really like these, but if I were to pick between the two, I would go with Flower Beauty just because they're not as expensive. I do love the shade. Oh my God, especially this one. I think it's called Storm. Yes, Storm. But it's just going to come down to I have so many that look just like this, and I don't really love the packaging either. I actually like the Flower Beauty more than I like the Glossier. But these are beautiful. Like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have swatched that because now I'm like, oh, I kind of want to keep that one. Because it's so I just love shades like this. Beam, though, I never use Beam. I'm going to declutter Beam. We're going to keep Storm, though, because, you know what? Let me swatch Bitten next to it, because if Bitten is similar, I don't think it is. I think Bitten, though, is more pink. But they're, oh my God, just looking at them next to each other, I'm like, they're so similar. Look at, like, you would not be able to tell the difference between Glossier and Flower, I don't think. But since Storm is more up my alley, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to get rid of Beam, though, because I don't ever use that one. See, I have such a hard time with blushes. See, guys, I'm decluttering some, okay? I love it. Okay, now we have the Milk Makeup. This is the Lip and Cheek Balm. I don't even know. It's just called the Lip and Cheek in the shade Work. I don't really reach for this that often. Looking at it, it kind of reminds me of the Makeup by Mario one as far as, like, the color of it. But this one is definitely old. I'm going to declutter this one. And I don't really reach for it. And then since it does remind me of the Makeup by Mario, I obviously like this one more. So I'm going to declutter that one too. See? The declutter was coming, guys. All right? And then we have, oh my God, Daniel Sandler. Have you guys ever used these before? Daniel Sandler, the Watercolor Liquid Cheek Color. So these are like liquid, straight up like water. They're gonna give you more of like that watercolor look to your face. I fucking love these though. I think I'm gonna declutter this shade though, because I don't really use this one that often. Like, are you guys noticing a trend? Like, shades like this I just don't really reach for because either they're not deep enough for me, or I have something that's already like it in my collection, and since I don't use it, I don't need like a bunch of them. But this pink one is so pretty. But these, I'm telling you, if you have not tried Daniel Sandler, they're fantastic. I love these. But I'm going to declutter the shade Luxe, and then I'm going to keep the shade Pop, just because I like that one and I use that quite often. So there's that. Let me wipe these ones off, and then we'll get into some M Cosmetics. Oh, I hate this packaging so much, but I'm going to keep them because I love the formula. I love the way that these look on the face. So I have the shades Pink Nectar, Venetian Rose, which is actually like brand new for me, and then Soft Amethyst. So these two were actually sent to me by a subscriber, so I'm definitely hanging on to them. And then I picked this up with the whole like Venetian Rose collection. It's this packaging is the only reason why I don't have like every single one of them, because I hate this packaging so much. But the formula of these are so beautiful. Like, they're actually called the serum blushes, and that's like very much exactly what they are. And this is what I'm talking about, like with this shade here. I feel like all the shades that I've decluttered are so similar to this one, but I love how this one looks on my face, so I'm going to keep this one out of all of them. I wish that they would change the packaging, because it does us a disservice. It's almost like you need a fucking tutorial just to learn how, like, the packaging works. Overall, just not it. But if you want something that is so dewy, and it almost looks like skincare on your face, this is definitely the brand that I would try. I just think they're beautiful, but it's like, oh, fuck, just change the packaging, Em. Please, Michelle, do us a solid and change that damn packaging. Like, it looks so aesthetic like this. It's just not practical as far as how the packaging actually functions. It's just, like, you basically have to just, like, click it a certain way. I don't even know how to explain how it works. Like, this one won't even lock right now. Okay, we'll have to look at that later. But let's talk about some Chantecaille. I have the Hydrating Gel Cream Blush in the shade Vibrant. This reminds me a lot. This is another one. It reminds me of those Flower Beauty, except I love the shade of this one. But it's more sheer. Like, okay, so if you're comparing, like, Flower Beauty to Chantecaille, Flower Beauty, it's very easy to work with, but it's so pigmented, so it's like you need to be careful. The Cheek Gelée, it's so much more sheer, so it's a lot easier to manipulate, to not over apply. Does that make sense? So it's almost like, yes, significant price difference. Flower Beauty is just an excellent stepping stone into cream blushes, I think. It's just, be mindful that they're hella pigmented. But these Chantecaille, they remind me the most of the Lisa Eldridge, the Seamless Skin Enlivening Blush. This is the shade Mountain Walk. Just Mountain Walk. I almost said, like, Mountain Walk-In for some strange reason. The packaging of this reminds me of the Flower Beauty as well. This formula's a lot different, though. Like, this almost has that more matte finish to it. It looks really intense right there, but when you apply this to your face, it does not apply that pigmented. It's much more sheer when you apply it. It's very easy to work with. It's just, I don't know, like, the formula of the Lisa Eldridge is so different. Like, it's not really liquidy. It's got almost like a creaminess to it. Like, even just squeezing that out, I feel like you could see, like, it was a little bit tougher to get out of the packaging. Like, I do really like this. I think if you're a beginner with makeup, these would probably be the two I would recommend the most, just because, or maybe even the Daniel Sandler, just because of how sheer they are. But if you want pigmentation, I'm just going to tell you to go right for the Flower Beauty, because you can't, I don't know, I just feel like I'm hyping up those this whole video, because I just think that they're great products at the drugstore. And then, if you want to know, like, my favorite cream blushes of all time, as far as, like, formula goes and how they look on the face, like, literally everything about them, Tower 28, baby. I fucking love these. I just think Tower 28 has, like, mastered the cream, like, complexion products. And I love the fact that they're ideal for, like, all skin types, because they design their products to be ideal for sensitive skin. I will say, if I were to pick one, it's Golden Hour. It's just so unique for my collection. I feel like I've talked about this so much, but these are going to be another formula that is heavily pigmented. I've done a dedicated swatch video to these. I'm keeping all of them, except I'm going to take out Golden Hour and replace it with a new Golden Hour, because Tower 28 just sent me those. So I'm going to have all of them still in my collection. I'm just going to declutter that one because it's old AF. I had that since it launched, but Golden Hour is definitely the favorite, but these are all just... Look at Happy Hour. It's like a mess right now, but these are just perfect. I love the fact that they extended the shade range. I love all of these. Oh my god. And they just give that beautiful, like, dew to the skin. So, so pretty. If you've not tried Tower 28s yet, they're like $20 and they're thebomb.com. And then last but not least, we have the cream blush lights from Milk Cosmetics. I knew I was going to cough right there. So I was sent the shade Polished for my birthday from a subscriber. And this is another one. I'm so surprised at how much I like it, because it's just slightly different for what I typically look for, because It's got that like pinkiness to it. It's so pretty. And then I initially picked up the shade Sandy Cheeks. I don't reach for this one nearly as much as I reach for Polished. I think I've reached for this like a handful of times. But these are still pretty new for my collection, so I'm going to keep both of them. But if I were to pick between the two, I'm definitely going to go with Polished. And Polished has that like luminosity to it, whereas Sandy Cheeks does not. That's just like the shade and that's it. Whereas Polished has almost like a gold reflect to it. So these are both beautiful. I do really enjoy the formula. It kind of reminds me of Tower 28 a little bit, except I think Tower 28 is a little bit like thicker, if that makes sense. But they still, oh my god, I still love the Tower 28. If I had to pick a formula that's my favorite, it's Tower 28. If I had to pick like, oh man, maybe I need to do like a top 5 cream blushes. Because obviously my like favorite of what we're featuring today is the cream blushes. There's just so many that I love, and they're just all so different. And I just feel like cream blushes are honestly like consistent. I don't know, because like I said, like there's very, I don't know, it's almost like it's hard to fuck it up. I said that earlier. It's hard to fuck up a cream blush, but every brand I feel does them so differently, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm doing this horribly today. I know I didn't declutter a ton, but you know what? Let me live my life. I still decluttered some. You know what? Let's show you what I decluttered today. So I did those two. I'm going to end up decluttering the Natasha Denona, Ofra. Like, that's not terrible. Like, this is still classified as a declutter, right? Whatever. Let me live. Tower 28. And just because I'm decluttering these Tower 28s, don't let that think that they're not good because they're fucking bomb, okay? So this is my, oh, let's move it forward a little bit. Here's my little declutter pile. That's not terrible. It's not like a savage declutter, but you know what? It's fine. It's fine, it's fine, everything's fine. So that's going to be everything for today's cream blushes bronzers declutter. Stay tuned for a future video on full face of makeup I hate. If you guys want to see like top 5 in my cream blushes, I could definitely do that. I think next week I'm going to do my liquid illuminators, like cream highlights and shit like that, because I have a lot, like, I don't know where they all came from, but I have so many of them. I think that's going to be a decent declutter. But like I said in the beginning, guys, this was not meant to be, you know, cleaning out my collection. I'm just trying to consolidate it down a little bit, okay? Let me live. Don't fucking judge me. And if you guys like this video, don't forget to thumbs it up before you guys leave. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow. We'll be back for a new Yes or Yawn. So if you guys have anything you want to chitty chat about tomorrow, let me know, because we've missed the past couple weeks. And then after that, we're going to do Alien Cosmetics, the Not Normal palette. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys like seeing my collection and swatches and shit. And I will see you guys next Sunday for my next declutter. If you guys like these, for my liquid illuminators, cream highlights, all that shit. Okay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Okay, bye.